it sounds. I just hear like, what? Oh my god.
Uber has the passenger that stole the cigar from my car contact me. And I told him just leave it with the hotel and give him my information. No word from the other passenger who had the cigar stolen. The guy that stole the cigar, I told him to just bring it to my house, knowing that that's not what he was going to do. And he's like, oh, I don't have a car. Uber's position is that if the person that took it doesn't give it back, go to the police. That Uber has a team to work with the police. This reminds me of the time I brought somebody from near my house in Chatsworth up to Porter Ranch, Walmart. Right as he's getting out of the car, he was a friendly guy too, he cancels the trip. And I didn't get any money. And I'm thinking, how could I not get paid for a trip when I completed the trip? Like, he canceled on his phone literally as he's getting out. So I told Uber what happened. They told me that they were going to have a specialized team contact me. I have evidence that I did the trip. And no specialized team contacted me. I never got any money for the trip.
Of Voodoo Creek, I mean, it's kind of, like you said, it's a part of...
What's like the farthest you've had to drive?
Palm Springs.
That's pretty far, yeah.
It was actually a couple years ago, and it was the most profitable day I've ever had.
Interesting.
Because, you know, back then there wasn't so many drivers. And when I dropped him off, it was late. It was also the weirdest trip I've ever taken, because the guy was a furry.
Was what?
A furry? It's a sexual fetish where they dress up as like stuffed animals.
Wow.
Really? Wasn't he just
So
so fast?
he dressed up to get in your car?
Well, he had like a bag with him. I don't. He probably had his costume with him. It wasn't on,
Oh.
but he was in character. He would like bark once in a while,
Man,
like roof, 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 in the middle of like a normal conversation.
that's pretty interesting, yeah.
But I was having like normal conversations with him in between the barks. But yeah, so I drop him off, and then it's like, you know, 2 in the morning. I don't know what it was, like 1 and 2 in the morning. And then I said, we have the thing for destination to say like we want a trip going in a certain direction. So I set it, and then I got a trip going back to LA from out there.
From at 2 in the morning?
Some guy in a suit
Wow,
looked like he was wasted.
probably.
I ended up making like $350 that
Yeah,
day.
okay.
Well, I took him to the LAX court. I didn't even know there was a courthouse at LAX. But I dropped him off there at like, you know, 4 in the morning or whatever it was. And I'm like, do you want me to take you to Denny's or whatever? He's like, oh, no, this is good, you know.
Wow.
I'm a judge.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Maybe.
I just got out of a furry party.
Bailiff.
Yeah. So that was the longest trip. It was actually the longest 2 trip probably.
Yeah.
But I've done 2 other long trips besides those. One to Santa Barbara and one to Dana Point. The weirdest story gets weirder. So I picked him up from you know the Grove, and then there's the CBS Studios,
Okay.
and then there's the Broadcast Center Apartments, like right on the corner of all that stuff.
Right.
So I picked him up there, and some guy is like, oh, like, hey, how much is it gonna cost to ride to Palm Springs? Like, okay, all right, you guys go. And I'm just like, okay, that was weird. And then the furry is telling me like, oh yeah, that guy just kicked me out of his apartment because his boyfriend got home, and like he was mad that I was there. Like he was just like, who is this guy? Like why is he here? Like, you know. And so then 6 months later, I pick up some guy from the airport, and he's like, what's the weirdest story? You know. And so I tell him the story, and he's like, oh. He's like, where did you pick him up from?
Yeah, I remember kicking him out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was the guy that kicked him out.
Giant Felix Chevrolet.
Family meeting to talk about estate planning and all the nuances involved in that. So I had a meeting with her. You know, talking to my wife, and she said, maybe you went away because, you know, right now we're enjoying the sunshine. But then we borrowed more money in the United States. And then the Europeans borrow. They owe $1 trillion. What it'll tell you is when your daddy sees your wealth. A compliment with a Money Matters retirement specialist at moneymatters.net.
This is what happens to Pink's hot dogs on the weekends. Look at this line.
Your expenses, your income taxes, your estate planning, your Social Security, your 401k, all those kind of things. And we can build a plan. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what to consider if can't find the balance to do their fast food and do the country. Put yours on Thursday, July 26th. CD8 Limited, so reserve your seat now. And Kevin desires to be who has anything to say about the investigation, he may have already pushed himself into the realm of a... I guess it was just a big coincidence.
Look at how wide this street is. This is just south of the 10, the I-10. And this is like the kind of neighborhood where I'd like to buy a house in the future. One of these old neighborhoods where they have like these big houses. So even though I'm not really close to downtown or Santa Monica, I could get to, when there's no traffic, I can get to either city very quickly. And it's kind of very centrally located area of Los Angeles.
The seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night.
This right here is never seen it. I don't know what's happening.
If we get there, they're like, oh, can't go in. I'm gonna be really sad. How far are the
It's right there.
Time continues marching, it slowly crawls. With each new one starting, I recall.
Another couple. Are you taking a picture of them? This is like beautiful. You better like blue.
This is the Shakespeare Bridge.
Like bullshit teenager. Yeah, it's like McDonald's. Blah, blah. That's all it sounds like. I just hear like blah, 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 blah. Oh my god. I mean, I don't know how much
gotta
he
be
gets.
making a little bit of money at this point.
He does,
He's
but
been a lawyer
he's,
for years.
yeah, but he's like he has a main
Not a good
partner
one.
because he's not a
because he's dumb.
dumb and he drinks too much and he, you know.
Oliver 12 max. Alright, I have a
Alright, thanks guys. Have a good one. Yeah. Motherfucker. Where are we going to though?
Dark Horse
Snow Viper or
No, Dark Horse Tavern.
Little Rock?
Yeah, it used to be Little Rock.
That's when we see them.
Yeah, let's go to.
Oh, it used to be Little Rock right there across from Yosef's Market.
Yeah, it's Little Rock.
Dude, they're not gonna let us in like this. They're not gonna let me in like this.
They don't have service. They don't have business.
They're good, they're chill.
They ain't
That's your spot.
Hey boss,
Dude,
you
when I
don't
went
mind
to
if I drink?
It's not a. You don't dress up.
I'm wearing shorts.
I mean, it's
You're
probably
good.
not a good idea, you know?
You're good. You're not just that situation.
What?
I've been there. I go there.
With shorts on?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
fine.
Brian, I've never seen you with shorts on in my life.
I said
I've
you're
been
fine.
there since.
It's not a fancy place. It's just,
not
just go in.
fancy.
Yeah.
So if I can't get in, then what?
Then you can wait outside.
No,
Oh,
damn.
hell
Then
no.
there's the saloon. No, there's
You're
the
gonna get
across the
inside.
street.
You go to CVS and
No, there's the saloon.
Yes, Sunny's.
Sunny's-
Now we Sugar Mill, yeah.
Sugar Mill. Sugar Mill Saloon.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna climb in your
Yeah,
ass.
So this is what I made this week. I want to show you how long it took and all that stuff. So I was on for almost 36 hours. $41 in tips. $11 toll over in Orange County. They have tolls. So to make 836.67 in 35 hours and 40 minutes. It's not, I mean, normally if I would work this long, I can make like $1,000, 900, and I'm short of that. And I think this is actually makes sense because I ended up in Orange County twice this week and didn't get a significant trip back. So that's 2 hours right there of like not making any money while I'm on the app. So if you look at it like this was 34 hours of work, then it's not as bad. But yeah, definitely, I can't believe, I ended up in Orange County twice, and then I had another day where I never even left the San Fernando Valley. I was just driving around, like, long trips in the valley, though. Actually made the same, like, hourly amount of money that I made on the days where I ended up in Orange County. If not more, actually. So it just shows you that the long trips, they're just always a gamble. Because if you do a long trip and then you get a ride back, that's when you're doing good. Doing incredible, actually. So it's kind of hard to not take the long trips because you don't know, like maybe something good will happen, but most of the time it does not. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for clicking. The shot in this video above the cemetery with downtown LA in the background, like, I love that shot. I just gotta say, like, I stopped, I was driving by it with a passenger, and I dropped them off just like right near there, and I thought, oh, I have to go back. Yeah.
Come my way this season.